Hey, what up, guys? This video back here in another video. A lot to talk about, so first let me get into it. So first we got off. It's pretty much been my comic picks, and yeah, just my comic picks of the last couple of weeks, and I'll talk about a couple stuff afterwards. First thing we got, I wanted to showcase was even though I don't have the system right now, but I was able to pick up Unlimited Games Trevor Saves the Universe by Justin Rollins, co-creator of Rick and Morty, as it says in the manual. Whenever I get a new Switch, again, maybe that Switch Pro that comes out, I'll start playing this. But this is the one game I have right now. That's pretty much I just want to showcase that. Um, as far as comics I've been reading, I haven't really been reading too much mangas. Like I said before, more will probably be on the way, but I've just done all comics. So these are just some of the, I think, last 4 weeks I picked up. So it's quite a few, so I'll kind of shotgun through them. Um, so the first one we got is My Little Pony Transformers: The Magic of Cybertron. It's the full cover. Continue. I wasn't able to pick up the crossover with My Little Pony and Transformers, but it seems like it continues off that. Um, as they go to obviously Cybertron to fight uh, Megatron more, and some other cool stuff happens. So it's kind of always interesting to see those two kind of collides. Whereas I'm a fan of both universes, so just figured to pick it up. Very comical and fun for young kids. Definitely pick up if you're into that. Then we have Titans Academy issue 1 for DC Comics. It's just as you can see, Red Arrow might be around. It may not be Dick Grayson, but it's in this timeline of the Teen Titans DC. The new Teen Titans, which are now the Titans, they're training new cadets, as you can see, as new characters, and even Billy Batson is in there. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I picked up issue 2. I haven't read it yet, but check that out if you're into Teen Titans in general. Um, and I say the new Teen Titans because Starfire, Cyborg, and Beast Boy came. They were when they came. They were the new Teen Titans. The original Teen Titans were Aqualad, Wonder Girl, which now she's Donna Troy. She's on the character. Um, Aqualad, Wonder Girl, yes, the original Robin, which he later becomes Nightwing, and um, and Kid Flash. Those were the 4 original Teen Titans. And then Raven and everyone else came later. So that's point out for those who don't know, but people probably know, but just had to put that out there. And I'm also reading this new, again, pick issue 2, but reading issue 1 is Kaiju Score. I didn't know about it, and it didn't look too interesting, the first issue. But the premise, without spoiling anything, is these heist people, they're going to pull out, like a heist or score, like rob a bank, during the Kaiju attack in this universe. So it's kind of interesting. I can't say too much about it. That sounds interesting to you, because there's really no Kaiju. This is like only that's just a picture of it. Only one kaiju in the first issue, and it's just like a minor point. It's more about a heist thing, but the fact that it deals with kaiju is kind of interesting concept. So yeah, we'll see how it's any good. I'll check it out. Continue, but it's hard for me to make assumption right now based off that. Then we got always a continued classic I love. I will continue reading it because I added it to my subscription box. Is Shadow Man. Just a new Shadow Man by a new writer. Anytime they make anything with Shadow Man, because I'm a Shadow Man fan diehard, I'll pick up just out of curiosity. First, she's pretty good. What's the guy's name? There's a recurring kind of antagonist that reappears. I can't remember his name's drawn up like I mean, but he's been in the second run of it. The King of the Dead, yeah, that's him right there. Oh, I can't even show. King of the Dead. Yeah, so he's a recurring character. That was kind of hard to see. And Shadow Man's I'm kind of interested to see that. I've also read the original Shadow Man, where it was that jazz magician. There's been 3 Shadow Mans, and there's probably been others, like Green Lanterns, but as far as like comics, it's been 3. There was a new one they just had. There's this old classic one. He's like his second Shadow Man, and the original is along with the long curly hair. That just happens to be a jazz magician. But definitely always a fan of Shadow Man, so pick that up. That's personal favorite for me. I'm also really a fan of Spawn. Um, I can't say too much about Spawn. It's just anytime a Spawn comics comes out, I gotta pick it up because I love me some Spawn. McFarlane's back writing it. It seems like they are doing the. From my understanding, when Spawn originally ended, his timer did click 0. I gotta show his timer again. And he kind of just like, became an angel and went to heaven. And I was in the Spawn. But as my phone goes off, in the comic timeline though, they kind of revamped that, So I just love me some Spawn. Like same thing as Shaman. Anytime those come out, I will read. Much like I just picked these up because I won't continue reading these series like those two, but I was just kind of curious. It's Captain America, one issue. I don't know if this is a variant cover with the Falcon, but it looks like Elijah Bradley, the Kid Patriot. But it's I think that's supposed to be Sam Wilson, the Falcon, which obviously in the new TV shows, the Falcon. I'll talk about that too when I get to it. He becomes the Captain America in the comic verse, and I know Bucky was first after Captain America, then it was Falcon. So yeah, there's some truth there. But that was just interesting because look, the premise looking. Obviously, it deals the whole their big thing was Kingdom Black about the Venoms and everything, and the guy kind of controls Cap and everything. So I was just kind of curious. I guess he could pass on this potentially. I just kind of want to see what it was. Um, one, if you're, I wouldn't say same as this one, Black Panther. It just continues like their side story also with Kingdom Black story arc. I didn't read the whole Kingdom Black. I was just curious to do one shots. You, uh, so they're kind of interesting, but you could definitely pass if you didn't read Kingdom Black like I did. I just had to know, especially if you want to save money. I'm a penny pincher, So that's why I was doing these videos. Like, okay, if you dedicated, you want to read comics. These are the comics I usually pick up. Maybe not those two, but every other one. That's kind of what these videos are. Makes any sense as I'm trying to not ramble and just because it'll be a long video. Then we got, if you're really a fan of this, for the 50 years is Spider-Man: The Curse of Man-Thing. As Man-Thing continues our adventures, next one he's gonna be an X-Men. I'll continue. I didn't read the ones before because I didn't know. There's my phone goes off. But I am a fan of Man-Thing because he's a weird creature. I don't think he's better than Swamp Thing. But there are some interesting issues of Man-Thing. He's a pretty good villain, or can be. Yeah, I've never really seen. I know there is storylines where Man-Thing can help people, but he's most of the time a bad guy, and that's kind of like I just like it. I know it's weird because he looks weird and he has a weird thing like Man-Thing, but there is some good, interesting issues of Man-Thing, and he can turn people into fire. He controls fire, so that's always interesting. That movie was not good, but we never had a good Swamp Thing movie. Apparently, the TV series ain't too bad, even though it got canceled. I haven't seen it, and I probably won't. But you know, but yeah, Swamp Thing's 50 years old. That's like that issue I've read of him. He was in the issue with Deadpool and Deadpool's Howling Commandos, where it was like Dracula, Wolfman. No, it was the Bride of Dracula, because they probably rebooted it. But like one of the things, Deadpool marries one of Dracula's brides, and this what if Deadpool, the Dracula figures out how to kill Deadpool for sure. The Bride of Dracula teams up with like Wolfman, Man Thing, a couple other like I think like Frankenstein, the Marvel Frankenstein, might be Kid Frankenstein. But it was just interesting. That's the last thing I've heard of Man Thing. So just side note with that. He was also in something else for Morbius, and I think Kid Frankenstein, Wolfman too. He's always in monster comics with Marvel, so it's all interesting. The reason is to the final of this comics pick for this month. Before I get into a couple things, is Ultraman issue 2. Not my Ultraman, Ultra Mega. My bad. Definitely has very Ultraman vibes. I will say that. And these are expensive. They're by Skybound, which is Robert Kirkman's co-creation, which I got some more Kirkman things I want to talk about real quick before I end this video. It might be 10 minutes, but definitely very kaiju. If you've been the kaiju's like Ultraman Dodge or giant robots or giants fighting like mechas fighting kaiju's or just giants fighting kaiju's like Ultraman. It definitely has this very vibe, and this is a Stone Cold classic. Not I can't say classic, but definitely a must read if you're into that because it's only 2 volumes. They are more expensive, like $7.99, and they're not for kids, but they're very interesting. So if you're into that, well, I mean, I guess like kind of kids. If you're like really, if you get your kids okay with like blood and violence, reading that, and they have a good grasp of that, maybe, but definitely pretty cool. Check out Ultra Mega. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Before I end, until the mark, I just want to say, yeah, so I kind of give my little summary of Captain Marvel's Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how that ends, and I guess it's gonna be a video be kind of long, so 2.5 you don't want to hear this, but in that it was yeah, it was pretty good. Name of Captain America. I don't know how the other movies kind of be. I kind of thought it was kind of funny that Zemo the Nazi was a voice of reason in that series. I was like, what a shock. I guess alright, but I didn't really like the Flag Smashers as villains. I felt like some of their reasoning was unjust, and it seemed kind of pandering and like past Captain America in general. Near the end, like as far as being political. So that one time he turned into a werewolf. That's kind of creep. But now, as far as Invincible, man, I haven't read a lot of Invincible comics. I've heard from it from like what happens with him and Eve. Uh, and the dad and like all these other like side adventures. I know there's a lot apparently going on, and it's hard to find apparently like Invincible comics because they upcharge them now. They're like $10 a piece, I think, right now. Um, you can buy the omnibus, but even then, that's a lot. And then if you can find the omnibus, but it was definitely I wasn't with it at first. It took me kind of a while to get in because like no one really was likable, but it definitely ends pretty strong. And it is a very violent show. Um, but it wasn't bad. If you crave that for violent action, it's definitely what feel you need. Uh, and like the main character Mark, obviously, as well, to me he doesn't really get likable until like the very last episode. Like everyone, like no one's really likable in that. Like, well, maybe except maybe Mark's friend, the gay person, because he's like the voice of reason. Everyone else kind of like has their own things. But actually, the mom's pretty enjoyable too. I take it back. There's a couple of characters like the mom and the guy that builds Omni Man suit that like okay, they're nice. But everyone else is like, I don't know. Like I like Wally, that main guy that runs the education stuff, but you can tell he has his own agendas. Um, I guess that's pretty it. I just want to get that out there because I talked about my King Kong Godzilla. Oh, the Mortal Kombat movie. I saw that. Thought it was good. I don't want to say too much about it. I know other YouTubers like Unruly, Kenny, did a pretty good job of it. I don't want to spoil it too much. Just yeah, it's pretty good. Had like I was kept thinking like, whoa, where's Johnny Cage in this? But spoiler, you see what happens at the end. There's a lot of cameos. I watched it twice. Uh, I didn't mind it. Yeah, what can I say about Mortal Kombat? And yeah, it was good. I mean, I can't say too much else about it. I know like a lot of videos go really in depth in it. And I'm like, yeah, it's just good. There was all the Easter eggs, and everything. Um, I mean, it's more I gonna say from like the video of that Eddie Murphy's coming to America, which I didn't mind it, but I was like, uh, that's my own grief. But yeah, it was good, and it was like it kind of was weird though. Like the main character Cole, he was like a cheap version of Tacky from like Soul Calibur. But that's pretty much it. If you need more questions in depth, I'll end that on this 14-minute mark. I'm rambling, but you just want to get out there. Also, for my other I know I have a like, very like low grade followers. I got another video coming up, and I'm probably going to put a disclaimer, and I might actually use my real name for while we're reading stuff here. Into that, you'll find out what my real name is if you put that together. But yeah, I just want to put that disclaimer as well. So 14-minute mark. You guys take care and blow on the peace. If you go sign out.